in months what Genshin couldn't in years. Man, what a title!
Impact is in one of the worst states it has ever been. Corporate greed? Check. Predatory monetization? Check. Quality of life?
Dude, it makes me so happy that a big chunk of my videos and my success just comes from absolutely shitting on this game. And it drives people absolutely nuts. They're like, oh, another Genshin sucks video. Hey, you're goddamn right. I'll keep doing this shit for the next 10 years because while there's motherfuckers lining their pockets with Hoyo's money, going around saying Genshin good, oh man, when the contracts dry up and you see that nobody wants to cover this fucking game, oh my God. When these children turn 18 and they stop playing Genshin 2, oh my God. When they make a cure for autism and everyone stops playing this game, oh man, I'm gonna be dancing on the grave, brother. I'm gonna be dancing on the grave. Yeah, have fun in Snezhnaya in 2028.
Exploration locked behind an expensive paywall. You betcha.
Pick it up.
And somehow, despite all of this, Genshin developers remain the most stubborn, out-of-touch game devs in the entire gaming industry. Do they even know what the players want? Or do they—
No, you want to know what, dude? Genshin Impact screams devs that don't play their fucking game.
they just not care? Personally, I think it's probably the latter.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care. Jerry.
Because after 4 years of ignoring every single request, rejecting every reasonable suggestion, and doubling down on the mechanics that frustrate players, they have suddenly decided they want feedback. But not just any feedback, a survey. Yes, folks, a totally real, totally not performative survey.
Guys.
Not an—
Wait, so you're telling me you don't want to wait till Thursdays to farm the specific mat? You're telling me you'd prefer if you could farm mats anytime you want? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, we could have fixed that in 1.0. Oh, I must have missed your text. Can't believe it.
An announcement, not a developer's post, not even an acknowledgement that the changes are coming. Just a form they didn't even bother to put in the game for the players to see. And what's even worse, people are actually celebrating this. They're acting like this is some grand moment of change. Damn.
Bro, Brand's tweet to this. Do we pull it up again? Oh my God, he pinned it. This guy is so cope, he pinned it. Good God, man. Hoyo online. Yeah, guys, finally, we can save it. Brother, they know what they need to change. They're only doing this to earn good boy points. And the worst thing is when they do it, he'll say, you see, guys, it was thanks to us we finally changed it. Bitch, they knew this were an issue. They know. They gave you the answers you wanted to hear in the same survey. They know what they need to do. They're just trying to figure out how they can look like a bad or a good guy in the situation.
Devs listened. Devs listened. Devs listened. As if Genshin hasn't been pretending to listen for years. So let's talk about why this is the most hilariously embarrassing attempt at listening to the community Genshin has ever done. A few days ago, Bran Online posted a tweet, and if you've been—
God, it's delicious. That's how you know I got the finger on the pulse, baby.
in the gacha space for any amount of time, you already know when a drama starts, there is about a 95% chance that it involves a tweet. This is just the world we live in now.
Genshin players, we have an opportunity to make meaningful changes in the game here.
Genshin players, we have an opportunity to make a meaningful change. The survey and the reply to this tweet wasn't posted anywhere in game like usual as far as I can tell. It's for very specific things. We've been asking for it. Fill it out, please.
I already did. Bro, they're doing this to try to seem like they're good people. They know what they need to do, I promise you.
Survey and the reply to this tweet wasn't
They've just waited as long as possible in order to do that.
posted anywhere in game like usual as far as I can tell. It is for very specific things we have been asking for. Fill it out, please.
Meaningful changes? Oh, I thought the Shields agreed that the game was perfect. Why change perfection? Now, let's be clear. The issue
what
isn't
happened?
really Bran himself. He's just another Hoyo Shield doing what Hoyo Shields do. Hyping up every breadcrumb Hoyoverse throws at him like it's a gourmet meal. We know this already. But here's what is a problem. The absolute delusion of people—
I love Glaive. I love them. I love Glaive so much, man. They are so f***ing funny, man. Damn, we got so many good CCs. I would definitely put Glaive and Genizad and Gotcha Smack. Who makes my Mount Rushmore right now? Oh, me, Gajus Mac, Glaive, Genocide, holy bro, man, it's so good right now, it's crazy.
Acting like this is some major turning point. A survey that wasn't even officially announced anywhere, that they have already done before with absolutely zero results. And this is what gets people.
I would make it very clear, Mr. Pokey would be in there if he played more Wuwa and he played more other gachas. The problem is he's pigeonholed himself way too much into just Honkai Star Rail and just like, I'm not gonna watch Zero Cycles that much. I'm just not gonna do that.
Hopeful. At this point, it's like watching someone keep going back to a restaurant that serves them cold, unseasoned food and thinking this time it'll be different. Newsflash, buddy, it won't. Which brings us to Bran himself. Bran Online, it's a type of guy who complains about bland food at a restaurant and then keeps coming back for more. And not just that, he complains while actively ordering.
Oh man, you overcooked my steak again. Well, see you tomorrow. Maybe it'll change.
More food and tipping extra. At some point, you have to wonder if he actually has a problem or if he just likes the abuse. Like, dude, you were just
Who is that? They are... Yo, chat. Hey, if I'm honest, they're hot.
just likes the abuse.
Hey,
Like,
bro.
dude, you were just ranting about how
care.
Genshin banners are getting more and more predatory, how they're pushing characters out faster, giving them trash
See the
filler
dragon?
weapons, and
Thank
making
God.
free-to-play players feel like they're falling behind. And then what did you do? You turn around and C6 Mavika. Let me spell this out for you. If you're still throwing your wallet at them, what's their incentive to change? There isn't one. You're rewarding the exact behavior you're criticizing. It's like getting scammed by a used car dealer and then thanking them while buying another lemon off the lot. Now, to be fair, at least he's spreading the awareness about the survey, because Genshin sure didn't, which brings us to the real issue here. Genshin didn't even bother announcing this survey. Not in game, not on Twitter, not in their Discord, nowhere. It's almost like they don't actually want people to see it. You'd think that if they were serious about getting real feedback, they would make it impossible to miss. Instead, it's
True.
buried in the deepest corners of the internet. It's like some secret side
True.
quest you have to data mine to find. And yet here comes the replies. Wow, they're actually listening. This gives me hope. Thank you, devs. Devs listened. Welcome to the Cloud Fiesta Clubhouse. I'm sorry. Are we actually thanking
Any video with the Get Out soundbite is always top tier.
a billion-dollar company for doing less than the bare minimum? This is like praising a landlord for finally fixing the plumbing after 4 years of leaks. And let's not forget, this is far from their first survey. They have been asking for feedback for 4 years. What was the point of every single survey before this one, if this is the one they're supposedly taking seriously? Oh right, there was no point, because none of them actually mattered. Listen, I used to take these surveys seriously. I would sit down, put time into them, and realize
I remember I have old videos that are like 45 minutes, hour and 10 minutes of me actually giving them the best feedback they could have ever asked for. And then over the next 2-3 years, seeing none of it implemented. Man, miserable time to be alive.
really think through my feedback. My friends and I would hop into a call, break down the update, and give actual constructive criticism. You know, like rational people who actually care about the game. And then after a while, we had this realization, an epiphany, if you will. None of it mattered. These surveys mean as much as a summer ant. Actually, no, that's generous. At least the summer ant contributes to the ecosystem. These surveys, they are purely performative. Let's do the math. 4 years and 2 months. That's how long Genshin has been running. That is like 50 updates, hundreds of surveys. And what has actually changed? Oh wait, nothing. The resin cap is still outdated. Artifact grinding is still hell. Endgame is still non-existent. Imaginarium theater, whatever. If that's the best that they can do, holy, think about
Yes,
what
it
kind of
is.
devs you're glazing. They're still pushing out premium skins like a fast fashion brand while pretending that the player base hasn't been asking for meaningful improvements since 2020. Why would anyone believe that this time is different? What is the incentive for Hoyoverse to suddenly listen that they've
Oh, because they're stupid.
spent 4 years proving they don't? This isn't a real discussion. It's a
Yep.
formality. It's a corporate theater. It is Hoyoverse pretending to be engaged with the community while continuing to ignore everything that doesn't serve their bottom line. The same
Oh,
bottom
and
line that
greedy.
has been made them billions while leaving player with a game that is actively getting worse. And the best part, they don't even have to try anymore. Genshin players have been trained to thank them for scraps. They know they can put out the barest minimum of effort, throw in some buzzwords like player feedback and meaningful change, and their most loyal fans will eat it up like it's the second coming of Archon Jesus. But you know what? Enough mocking. You all already know what I feel about the game, so let's just go and dissect the survey. I mean, how bad could it be? They want to listen to feedback, right? Let's just go into it. First question, how satisfied are you with the time limit on acquiring talent level up materials and weapon ascension materials? How satisfied? As if there's an acceptable answer to this. If you pick anything other than very unsatisfied, I genuinely do not know what to tell you. This system has been universally hated for over 4 years. Your ancestors in heaven know this system is bad. Future generations will be bored knowing this system is bad. There's gonna be documentary videos talking about how this system is bad. And yet somehow, Hoyo shills are still out here defending it like it's the pillar of game design. Why do
Well, how else are they gonna get their monthly check, man? How else are they gonna get those primo gems in their mail to fucking C6 the units? So that way they can make these C6 showcase. I pulled for C6 unit. Yeah, okay, dude. Absolutely, you did.
I need to schedule my life around a gacha game? It's supposed to be casual, not a full-time job where I have to track materials availability like I'm filing a tax return. And then there's this gem. How satisfied are you with weekly boss
Justified
fights only
crash
being
out.
farmable once a week? Hoyoverse, you literally put the problem in the question. You know it's bad. You wrote it out. You had a whole meeting about it. But instead of just fixing it, you're asking us to confirm what you already know. This is like a doctor diagnosing you with a broken leg and then handing you a clipboard asking, so on a scale of 1 to 5, how painful is it? What are you doing? Waiting an entire week to farm a single boss drop is insanity. You pull a new character and can't even upgrade them immediately. You just sit there twiddling your thumbs, praying to the way that the boss finally resets. But if you don't, congratulations. You just unlocked another week of suffering. You can finally continue your edge streak. Congratulations. You are a clown. At this point, Hoyoverse isn't even pretending they don't know these systems suck. They just don't care. They would rather put the responsibility on you, the players, to tell them something is bad, even though they have been bad since launch. Oh, and here's something really interesting. This survey magically spawned when Wuthering Waves had its 2.1 livestream. What a coincidence. Genshin has been ignoring complaints for years, but suddenly, the second Wuthering Waves makes a noise, Hoyoverse is like, oh no guys, we totally care. Tell us what you think. We're listening now. You're telling me
man,
this isn't
absolutely, huh?
connected? You're telling me Genshin suddenly wants feedbacks at the same moment Wua is making waves. Hoyoverse, be honest. If you really wanted feedback, you would have done this when people were actually begging for it, not when your biggest competitors is gaining traction. At this point, if I want Genshin to improve, I should just fill out a Wuthering Wave survey instead.
Yeah, y'all remember all the CCs that were getting on Wuwa because of all the hype it had, right? But then the moment it dies down, they're like, we no longer want to play. The amount of people who will play things for trends because they know it can net them the most money and only listening when it's beneficial to them is so fucking fake, it's insane.
Because apparently, Hoyoverse only listens to Kuro games. Let's talk about a real thing, actual game improvements. Because while Genshin is busy pretending to care, Wuthering Waves has been delivering. Look at what Wuthering Waves has added since launch. We're talking massive quality of life updates, genuine balance changes, and the big one, echo loadouts. You know, the thing Genshin players have been begging for since 2020.
The thing that they can make in literally 30 minutes.
We were told was too hard to code,
Yeah, but we don't
whatever
wanna.
excuse the Hoyo shills were peddling that week, and yet Kuro Games, a much smaller company by the way, managed to pull it off in a few months. So tell me, how is Hoyo shills gonna defend their multi-million-dollar company now?
And it's still very important to say, Wuthering Waves got echo presets before Wuthering Waves even needed them. This was an optional build. Nobody was asking for this. We did not need those. I'm not even going to use them. We got them just because Wuwa said, oh, you want these? Okay, here you go.
You all love bragging about how much money this company makes. You boast about the revenue you personally don't even see a cent of. But where's that money going? Is it being reinvested back into the game? Or are they just pocketing it while feeding you the same recycled content year after year after year? I'll say this outright. I back the right company. If this is the level of competition Hoyoverse is bringing to the table, then Kuro Games deserves every bit of praise it gets. Maybe now, some of you should open your eyes to what's happening in reality. A company making billions does not mean they have a good game. Money is not an indicator of quality. It is an indicator of how successfully they can exploit their audience. And the craziest part, Wuthering Waves has every right to be just as predatory. It's a gacha game, right? They could have gone full greed mode like every other title in the genre, but they didn't. They made a game that feels like a game first, gacha second. And that should be the standard moving forward. But instead, we have people applauding Hoyoverse for throwing them a survey. At the end of the day, this survey isn't about change. It's about pretending to care while doing nothing. They know the problem.
And the same content creators freaking out about it just want a virtue signal that they're one of the ones advocating for change, when in reality, they all know that survey's not going to do shit.
They have known them for years. If they wanted to fix them, they would have done it already. They have no reason to listen to you when they...
This video has so many lukewarm takes. Oh yeah, I'll be real, man. A lukewarm take in the Genshin community, though, is pretty much the equivalent of starting World War III.
Know that you'll keep swiping, keep
These people
defending,
freak
keep
out
making
over the
excuses
littlest
for them.
things.
And yet here we are, watching people fall for it again, acting like this is some massive shift, like this is the moment Genshin turned.
And also, it's a lukewarm take to you. But to a Genshin player, oh man, they will tweak the fuck out of this. They will defend shit that they know is absolute truth.
It around. No, it's not. It's just
like they'll know that the Way's dick is in their ass. They'll say, no, it wasn't. It's like that one song, wasn't me. Like, they know they're getting fucked, and they still opt to slope the dick.
It's another meaningless survey, another empty promise, another cycle of disappointment. Genshin players deserve better, but they will only get better when they stop blindly trusting hoyovers. So before you defend your multi-million-dollar company, ask yourself, are you trying to make the game a better game, or are you brand online?
Man, going out with a banger. Spicy.